Hello, 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 dear friends, and welcome back to my series, Bloom Where You Are Planted. I am certified life coach, Talia Sage. This series, Bloom Where You Are Planted, has been dedicated to teaching you the tools, giving you the tools that you can use to help get yourself unstuck out of any situation that you may find yourself in. These first set of videos in the series have all been dedicated to the stages of grief because in my own life, in my practice, I have come to realize that when we are stuck in life, unsure what to do next, unsure of our next moves, it is because we are stuck in one of these stages. And the quicker we're able to recognize that we are stuck and which stage we are stuck in, then the easier it is to pull ourselves up out of those pits. Before we get into the messages, please take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It lets YouTube know that you like what you see and that you want to see more of it, and it helps me to accomplish my mission, which is to reach as many people as possible and help them create their best lives. Thank you for your help in assisting me reach my goals of helping as many people as possible. So this video will be about the final stages of grief, acceptance and hope, and processing that grief. I did receive a comment on my last video asking for tips and tools to help pull ourselves out of these stages, particularly depression, and that is something that I will speak on later in the series, but this first part is solely being focused on the 7 stages so that we can all learn to recognize it. Once we recognize it, then we can begin doing that work to pulling ourselves up out of it. As usual, I always suggest that you have a pen and paper, a journal handy, so that you can write down any feelings, any memories, any thoughts that come up as you are listening to these words. Once again, you having that journal handy and writing all these things down can help you currently if you are in this stage or about to move into this stage, and it can also help you in the future to recognize what stage you are in. So get comfortable, get a glass of water, get a snack, a blanket, a pillow, whatever you need to get comfy. Sit back, listen to these messages. Let's get into it. Hope is being able to see that there is light despite all of the darkness. Desmond Tutu. This video is focusing on the final stages of grief, which are acceptance and hope, and processing grief. Processing grief looks different for everyone, but there are some characteristic traits that you can look out for to know that you're finally at that stage of moving past something that was very difficult. In this stage, we begin to accept what was, no longer worrying about what happened in the past. We begin to accept what is, no longer trying to fight what is currently happening, no longer trying to micromanage the results, the outcomes that we receive out of life, and we begin to accept what could be, no longer thrusting ourselves into anxiety, worry, fear about what could happen in the future. This is when we begin to, as they say, let go and let God. Allow Jesus to take the wheel, whatever it is that you believe in. During this stage, we often feel as though a weight has been lifted off of our shoulders, like we can finally breathe again. That dark cloud that may have been following you around through the previous stages finally seems to be lifted, where you can finally see the sun again, feel the sun again, feel that joy, feel that positive, hopeful energy. This is when we begin to believe that things can improve, that no matter where we were in the past, things can get better, that our past does not have to dictate our future, that we have a choice, that we can make the necessary choices to create a positive outcome for ourselves. During this time, many people may find faith, where they begin to trust in God. They give into a higher power, so to speak. This is often a phase that I believe that many people in AA come into once they join that program or join any program. You might decide to seek help during this stage. See a therapist, a counselor, join a program such as AA, or even reach out to a certified life coach such as myself. This is when many of us begin to decide that we don't have to do it all ourselves. We begin to realize that we don't have to do it all ourselves, that there are people out there who can help us. There are people out there who have experienced similar things, and we open ourselves up to that guidance and that love. This is where many of us begin to look at the past circumstances and find the lessons within them, believing that everything happens for a reason, and that if we look at the bright side of things, try to find the positive within the situation, that we can then take those lessons, take that knowledge, and apply it to our future selves, so that we no longer have to feel that pain again or be thrust into the depths of despair, depression, ever again. This is the stage where, for many of us in the spiritual community, we like to say we allow ourselves to feel things, because once we feel it, truly feel it, no longer numbing ourselves, no longer blaming anyone else, accepting it for what is. Once we feel it, we can allow ourselves to heal it. And once it is healed, once we give forgiveness to others and ourselves, then we can begin that process of releasing it and moving forward into a more positive, brighter future. So, at this stage, I would like you to write down in your journal, where in the past, what situations in the past have you found yourself accepting what was and having hope for the future, processing the grief that occurred? Are you currently in that stage? What does it look like for you? Join me next time when we begin to speak about the effects that the pain can have on our body, when we begin to dive into the chakra systems and how painful situations may begin to manifest in our bodies. Once we can learn to recognize the signs, then we can begin that process of finally dealing with it and pulling ourselves up from the depths of despair. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I will catch you next time. Stay well.